Hi everyone, I'm just recording a little bit of training for you today. This is for ICs that are looking to launch themselves into activity and get on the way to becoming a district manager. So I'm just going to talk for about 4 or 5 minutes about the 40 Faces Challenge and also about the daily method of success. So these are two things that I use all the time to help me propel my business forward. So the 40 Faces Challenge, you can see here, it comes in various different forms, but this is the one that I use and prefer to use, to be honest. So there's page after page of this, and it goes up to 40, and essentially every time you have a reach out to somebody, so you've asked somebody about the business, you've asked somebody about the products, you've asked somebody to host for you, you've asked somebody to have a look at some samples or the gold bag or go on a Facebook party, whatever it is, when you've reached out to somebody and had some sort of response, they would go on here. Okay, so obviously you can sit out and send loads of requests out. If you don't get any response and you don't get anything at all from them, they don't go on here. So these are the ones that you get either a positive or negative response from. You're actually having to reach out and getting some kind of conversation with. Okay, so I pop them on here. I actually do it in written format, so I print them out. So for example, here's my April one, and also there's like an October one that I'm just working back on at the moment. So I'll write them all down and keep them all by my side. So every time I have a reach out to somebody this month, they'll go on my new one. So I've got a new one here for May. So they'll go down. So I'll list the name down. I'll list whether I've sent them a sample, whether I've sent them a Discover Arbonne to watch, whether they'll be attended one. At the moment they're virtual, whether they've attended a virtual party, whatever it is, I'll write down on there how I've reached out to them, and I tend to write the outcome of what they've bought and what they've trialled or where they've got to. So my April one looks pretty much like this, but I've pulled out my October one because these are really good to refer back to. So they're great during the month to keep you focused, to know that you need to get 40 reaches in a month, but they're really good to pull out a few months later when you're thinking, who am I going to revisit? What am I going to do? And it's really good to pull them back out and remind yourself of people that might have had a sample and said no at the time, or had some sort of activity and said no, because our job is to layer up the exposures that people have to Arbonne. And just because somebody says no for now, it just might not be the right time for them. So a lot of my reach outs in April, some of them said, actually, it's not a good time for me at the moment. I am interested. However, after I'm back working again after furlough period, or after this, or, you know, I've got an unwell relative, once that's sorted, I would be interested. So then I would pull my 40 Faces back out, and I'd be able to revisit people that have said they were interested and go back above them. So it's basically a list of active contacts. Okay, so this is a really important document for you to keep and use and fill up every month, and you want a new one every month. And you, as independent consultants, your main focus is to fill this up every month. Okay, people high up in Arbonne use this all the time. Everybody uses this, so you've got to get into routine of using it. So it's a really good tool. Now, how do I find those people to reach out to? This is through the daily method of success. And again, national vice presidents use this, regional vice presidents, everybody uses it. So please get into the habit of using it. I'll put these documents on the team page so you can download them. They might be there already, but we'll make sure they are there for you. So the daily method of success, you need to do daily, hence the title. So you are looking at doing 20 minutes of personal development, reading or audio. Now, I personally end up doing 20 minutes of audio a day because it's easy to do when I'm in the car, on the go, or at the moment, just before I get out of bed, I can put 20 minutes of audio on as I'm waking up in the morning. Then you write your gratitude list. So it's really important to be grateful for things and to list them down. And by listing them down first thing in the morning, I find that it actually sets your day up really well. So please do try and do that gratitude list every day. Okay. Then you've also got the asks. So the 3 new asks. These are essentially what are going to be going on your 40 Faces. Okay, so these 3 new asks, you're asking someone about the business to take a look, somebody to attend an event, whether virtual at the moment or in person after this all finishes, to have the goal bag, to take a look at the 30 days, maybe ask them to have some samples, whatever it is, try and do 3 asks a day, okay? Now, there is a temptation, and I have been guilty of this myself, of not doing it for a few days, and then it builds up, and then you do them all in one night. I personally have found that that actually doesn't work very well, because then you have to do all your follow-ups at the same time. So try and stagger it so you are doing 3 asks a night. Try not to, or a day. Try not to over egg it and say, well, I'm going to do 20 today and then I don't need to bother for a couple of days. Arbonne is all about consistency. If you're doing 3 asks every day, you're going to have 3 follow-ups every day. Okay, so these are follow-ups from your asks. So you might ask them one night, they've got a bit of interest either the following night or the night after, you'll go back to them. So if you're doing your regular asks, you're always going to have your regular follow-ups, and you're never going to feel overwhelmed or inundated with responses. I once again was guilty, like I say, of building them up, and I did about 25 asks in one night. Everybody wanted samples. I sent them all out, but that meant that I had 25 samples to get out. I then had 25 follow-ups to do all at the same night, and it actually became quite overwhelming, like I say. So do 3 a night. I've learned from that, and keep to 3, and then you'll do really well. But it's all about consistency. You've also got your 3 client follow-ups. So, you might be in a situation where you have got people that have already bought from you, either clients or PCs. You are going to obviously follow up with them, but not necessarily about the business. It's about relationship building. So you might just be asking how they are and just generally being friendly for reasons that you want to be friendly with them and keep in touch with them, not necessarily because you're looking to sell them anything, just because you want to check up on them and see if they're okay. And then at the points where there are renewals or there are special offers or new launched products coming out, you actually are already having regular conversations with them, so it's quite natural to let them know about new things that are coming out. 3 team member connections. So if you don't have a team at the moment, you soon will. So just get into the habit of communicating regularly with your team. And if that isn't your team under you, that could be your sidelines or your uplines. Get into the habit of having regular communications with the team. It really is uplifting. Relationship building actions. So these ones, you want to be looking at 3 reach outs a day to people that you've been friends with previously and maybe lost contact with over the many years, or friends of friends, again, people that you know of, that you've seen at various parties and things, but you've not had direct contact with them. Look at building up your network of friends, regardless of asking them whether they want to take a look at Arbonne, because these people that you reach out to now are going to be your future contacts to reach out to about the business, okay? But it's about building relationships to begin with. So it's quite actually really nice, because I did an awful lot of this, really nice getting in touch with people that you used to be friends with and you've just lost contact with. And it's not just a simple like on Facebook. You've got to comment, you've got to direct message, you've got to private message, you've just got to get in touch with them and ask them how they are. And now is such a good time to do that, whilst we're in a situation of lockdown where, people are wanting to build relationships and keep in touch and check up and see how people are. So definitely do that, because those are going to be your future business, okay? Make a social media post each day. Again, it doesn't necessarily have to be all product related, all Arbonne related. It can be just social media posts about you, your family, things that you find that might be of interest to them. I know some people that use content builders to add posts onto their site, so they're not having to think about what to post. So there's various things open to you. Then review your goals every day. So you'll have your goals in place for that month, that week, that year, whatever it is. I'm very much into goal slicing at the moment. So look at your month's goal as a certain number of QV, slice it down into 4 and look at weekly goals of achieving your QV, and it looks a lot more achievable and it propels you on, and it saves you leaving it all to the last minute at the end of the month, okay? And then plan your 3 priorities for the next day. So identify what you need to be doing as the main key things for the next day and follow up with that. So these, again, you can print out. I print out in A4 format, and I just keep one every day for the 7 days and fill them in throughout the day. You can print them smaller, but I quite like a big version. Okay, so those are the two main tools that I would suggest you use immediately within your business to really see a massive shift in momentum for your business. Okay, thank you everyone. Bye.